Hello. Welcome to Out of Continues episode 233. Bam!
Yay!
233. How did we get this far? That's a big number.
That's big numbers for counting.
Yeah, I don't even think I can count that far, and I got that far. So that's
I got up to 4 the other day.
that's like a time
I got up to
paradox.
4 the other day. It was an achievement.
Yep.
Did
So
I achieve
anyways,
that?
this is a weekly podcast posted up every Monday on outofcontinues.com as an MP3. And it goes up before that on youtube.com/outofcontinues as a video where you can see our faces, whether it is still face or moving face.
I'm working on it.
You know.
Technical difficulties.
And also you can also watch us live on YouTube as well when we record live. And we talk about video games related topics. For those of you new to the show, I am your host Staffa, and this week, as far as my rotating guests go, I have Jess returning.
Hello, everybody.
How you doing, Jess?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Doing all right. And I also got Cody over here.
I am the disembodied floating head that you see right now.
Hey, don't worry. Kevin is on here like every other week, and he's just like a still guy doing a selfie of himself.
We should just, if he's just a disembodied thing, we should just say all hail to Cody Cloud. Like,
Yeah.
Hey, who's the other guest that's with you, Jess?
the other guest is my cat, Mahoney, who just likes to chill at the most
Mahoney?
times.
Mahoney. Bam.
Mahoney. Yeah. Making a guest appearance all the time.
Bam.
Gosh darn it. That's the cutest name I've heard all day.
Aw.
And that was at
I'm
Comic
glad.
Con.
I'm glad I contributed to that.
How's Comic-Con, Cody?
Short, but it was nice. Got to see some stuff. It was really weird arranged this year for some reason, and I heard a lot of people, especially in the artist alleys, having some difficulties. Some of the aisles were either A, too short, or B, they were like ridiculously huge. But overall, the few booths that I did get to check were really cool, and I got to see some friends that were working at the booths, and they were having a good time. So yeah, it was fun.
Nice.
They had that spacing issue last year, too, when I was at Indiana Comic-Con. Let me sort that.
I went to the first one 2 years ago. It wasn't impressive.
Yeah.
I feel like they definitely, from the pictures I saw, it looked like they had gotten a lot better.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Sounds like it.
they're definitely working on it. It's a growing process with them. It's definitely not the smash hit that PopCon originally was, but they're working on it.
All right. So let's get going, and I'll break down this week's segments real quick for the listeners. First, we're going to do our main topic, which will be Zombie Survival Team. We've done like about a month or so ago. We did like a picks
Desert
on
Island.
game characters. Yeah, on who would want to be on a desert island with. This time it's who we'd want to be with during the zombie apocalypse. After that, we got some quick announcements. We got a good portion of news topics to talk about, and then got a quick surprise at the very end. So stay
I
tuned
know
for
your
that.
surprises, so I'm concerned. My body isn't ready.
Everybody gets a dog.
Oh.
So, one quick disclaimer: all opinions expressed on the show are of our own and not of our employers, whether past, present, or future. So please don't fire me. Hashtag hire Staffa. Anyway,
Hashtag hire Staffa.
yes, hashtag hire
Yeah.
Staffa. I
You
just
still
had
need
an
to make
interview
that trend.
yesterday.
I'm gonna start putting that hashtag in just all of my random stuff too. It's like
You're gonna put it in your resume?
Park, and then I got lunch, and I got to hang out with my mother. Hashtag hire Staffa.
I appreciate that.
I want to just put it. I want to put it in my resume. I wanted to just say my name and my achievements, and at the very bottom of the resume it says hashtag hire stuff.
Hey, it's a way to live.
I don't know about you, Jess, but this Staffa guy, he seems pretty
It
impressive.
sounds like he's good. This man's got hashtags everywhere.
So anyways, let's get going and get to our main topic, which is our zombie survival team. And I put together a short list today, this morning. How about you two, Jess and Cody? Did you guys make a list for yourselves?
Um, sort of, kind of
Sort of.
mentally, I was thinking about it. See,
Okay.
like having people, because there's some video game characters that would probably annihilate every single zombie in
Yeah.
like a matter of like 20 minutes, and then we can all go have brunch.
Mhm.
So I've been thinking about I don't know, different categories to kind of put them in, and I kind of gave myself limitations to make it a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, like I thought about that as well. I mean, like when I was making my list, the very first one I put on there, which is not no longer on the list now, but I was like, Ratchet. Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank, he'll destroy all of them because he has so many weapons and he can heal, and so he'll never
Yeah.
get the virus. But then I was like, no, 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 that wouldn't be fun to make a list of just invincible dudes. So
I
Yeah.
tried not to use like actual survival horror people as much as possible because I
Oh.
thought that gives them an unfair advantage if they're already in a zombie game. Like,
Yeah.
I pretty much stuck with mainly characters that have experience with like survival or the undead.
Yeah, my first one was like, the cast from the original Left 4 Dead games. At least I'll be entertained.
true.
So with that said, do you want to go first, Cody? I mean, since you already mentioned your first pick.
Let's see. Yeah. I'll go first.
All right.
So
We'll go you and then Jess and then me. We'll go in that
Okay.
order.
Okay.
And we'll just name off one pick at a time.
one pick at a time. Okay, so
Yes.
I guess the first pick that I thought of for zombie apocalypse and stuff is I broke down what are the first immediate concerns when it comes to a zombie apocalypse. In most, if we take like references to Romero films and such shows like The Walking Dead, or even from like video games that showcase zombies in any kind of light, it's got to have somebody who is more or less well-rounded, that has those survival instincts, but is well with any kind of manner of weapons and firearms. And I would choose probably Meryl Silverberg from the Metal Gear series.
Oh,
More
okay.
particularly, more
I
particularly
had to think
from,
because you said her last name and I was like Silverberg. Who? Oh, Meryl. Okay.
yeah, Meryl. Yeah, I do, because because her last name is the same as the Colonel's, because
Yeah.
father-daughter thing. Sorry, spoiler alert. But no, more particularly from the fourth game. In this Metal Gear Solid's Sons of the Patriots. And this one is because she's definitely is well-rounded. A lot of people would probably ask too, well, why not Solid Snake? Well, see, Snake has that problem of the aging problem. He's not going to be able to outlast and survive a zombie apocalypse for very, very long. Granted, he has a lot of survival training. Now, I probably would go sort of with Big Boss, but I don't see him as contrary to some of the other games, as more or less a humanitarian-based leader, whereas Meryl would definitely be that. She kind of young, and always kind of referred as green behind the ears and stuff. But we've seen from not only the first game where she was introduced, but also in the fourth game where we got to see some of her just
More experienced.
Yeah, the more experience, granted, a lot of people would say too, oh, well, those are just nanomachines. Well, at the end of the game, if you remember, those nanomachines were rendered null and void, and, carrying around two 50 caliber Action Express Desert Eagles and, taking out all those, all the frog soldiers, that was just, I was like, yeah. And those are all headshots too, which is, that's just another plus in the whole zombie apocalypse thing. But yeah, I would say definitely Meryl would be my first pick.
Good pick. All right, Jess, your first pick.
All right.
Keep in mind for the listeners, I put down a note that these picks don't necessarily have to be in any order. Jess,
okay.
I don't know if you have yours in any order or not.
I was gonna start with like the least useful to the most useful, but I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna dive in.
Sure.
So bear with me when I say this.
Sure.
Paul Rapper the Rapper. Now here, I know what you're saying. You're like, why? But I'm thinking, like, you've got to have that one person in your group that can be kind of mildly entertaining. So, like Beth from The Walking Dead. She wasn't good for anything, except to occasionally sing a country song around the fire. So it's like we're in the campfire. He can occasionally bust a rhyme in our, like, most stressful of times. And also, sacrifice. I am perfectly fine with throwing Paul Rapper the Rapper into, like, ahead of me. If I need to run away quickly.
Hey, don't underestimate Paul Rapper. He knows kung fu. He can kick, punch, it's all in the mind.
That's the thing. He can hold them off while I run away like a little bitch.
He'll put a zombie in a rear naked choke.
While he is doing the quick time events, I can make my speedy escape. So that's why.
Man, you're cold-blooded.
So,
who is the real monster, the zombie or Jess?
The zombies are what we have to worry about. It's Jess, aka the governor.
The governor. I would look amazing in an eye patch. Just saying.
Man,
that's my pick.
That's an insane explanation on your first pick. First one I put down on my list is a good old Crazy Dave from Plants vs. Zombies.
Crazy Dave!
Yeah, Crazy...
Not Insane Dave. You don't want Insane Dave in the zombie apocalypse.
Hey, Crazy Dave will hook me up with the pea shooters, the big walnuts, the ones with like the mean faces that will like block the zombies. Crazy Dave got it all.
Crazy Dave is not only crazy, but he has a taste for good Mexican food, and he's got like an inherent green thumb.
Yeah.
True.
It's like, yeah, that's like the best pick.
He could run your settlement.
I mean, like during the zombie apocalypse, you're gonna need to survive and recreate civilization and make food. Crazy Dave can grow corn.
Right?
Boom.
Boom.
Plus, his RV is a time machine too. Bam.
That's right. It is a time machine, so you can just like teleport back to when there was no zombies.
No, you go back in time and there's still zombies. That's what happened in Plants vs. Zombies too. You go back to like ancient Egypt and there's still zombies.
I see.
I thought you were going into like fixed timelines. I was like, oh, okay, like you go back, but you can't change the future. There will always be zombies. I thought you were getting real deep stuff. I was like,
there's always been zombies. Just look in the mirror.
Just go to the local mall.
We are the true monsters. All right, Cody, what's your next pick?
My next pick. Oh wow. What was my next pick? Oh, I got it. I got what my next pick is going to be. So, I have always been a big fan of like first-person shooters and stuff. More classic age first-person shooters. And if there's one particular character that personifies bringing the hammer down, destroying the legions of the dead or hell or anything like that, it has to be the Doom guy, hands down. Like, single-handedly took on the forces of hell with just a double-barrel shotgun and a grimace, and he brought the pain. So if he is
Plus,
definitely
he can survive a lot of pain too.
Yeah.
I mean, like, just think about it. Like, he always holds his rocket launcher right in front of his abdomen.
Oh,
so, if because he can survive launching rockets with a rocket launcher right in front of his abdomen, like, for so long, he has to have like abs of steel.
That's
Dude
that's
is
his ab
tough.
workout. He actually released a couple videos. It's just you got to launch that rocket launcher, and it hits the core, and it also hits like those like weird back muscles right over there on the side. And man, he is ripped.
Yeah.
And definitely.
In fact, I'm just looking at him on the cover of the box. His abs are just the only thing that's exposed.
Well, wouldn't you want to show them off? Like, I mean, when you're in hell, midriff-bearing shirts aren't that big of a deal.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's like, because honestly, he doesn't need armor there. Everywhere else, he needs some armor, not his steel cut abs.
I mean, you can like grate
Are you just
cheese
gonna
with
bounce
that.
the zombies off of them? Like they're just gonna bust their faces on his steel abs?
Oh yeah, like monsters go to claw his abs, and then they break their hands and their fingers on it.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. True story.
All right, moving on.
Okay. My next one is Sebastian Castellanos from The Evil Within. He's my only survival horror guy. That guy was like the Pinterest of survival horror people. He's like, oh, I picked up this string, now I've crafted a bomb. And it's like, how did you make a bomb from twine, Sebastian? And he's just like, oh, I'm just broody. It's a thing that I do. Like, he's like, oh, I just started knitting, now I've made a machete. And it's like, how did you
my
make a
vest?
machete?
I mean, come on now.
That's like
bad.
some MacGyver stuff right there.
Exactly. He's the MacGyver. So if we need anything, like if we need a gun, he'll make it out of like a box. I don't know how, but he'll be able to make anything that we need in the group. That's why it looks snazzy while doing it. Because he never got dirty. That entire game, that vest and that white shirt was fine. So he'll be able to starch our shirts. Boom. Double
Hey,
win.
you gotta look stylish no matter what the occasion.
Yeah.
There's the evil within, but it's all clean without. Like, all outside, it's just clean. So that's my guy.
All right. Next pick I have, and this is literally what I have on my notes. It's not because Cody just talked about the Doom guy, but next person on my list is B.J. Blazkowicz from Wolfenstein.
Oh yeah.
BJ!
B.J. Blazkowicz.
Because I mean, like, not only did he fight Nazis and he like tore them apart, but you gotta remember, Wolfenstein is where Nazi zombies originated.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah.
Call of Duty. It was Wolfenstein. So BJ, he has experience killing living hateful people and undead hateful people.
He
So-
took out Mecha Hitler.
Exactly.
Let me
Yeah.
say that again. Mecha Hitler.
Yes.
Case
That
closed.
guy is a national treasure.
I mean, he also took out a guy named Death's Head. I mean, obviously, like, evil runs in that person's family. I mean, his name is Death's Head.
What is his first name? Is it like Steve?
No, it's just Death's Head.
Just
That's
Death's
Yep. Professor Hans Death's Head.
Head. Oh, my first name's Frank. Frank Death's Head.
So, yeah, B.J. Blazkowicz, I mean, you can't go wrong. This dude is going to, like, find a way to kill anything and everything. Plus, he has, like, a Wolverine healing factor. Like, I mean, I don't know if you guys played, what's it,
the New Order?
the New Order, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
I'm
guys
playing
have
that right now, actually.
Oh, you're playing it now?
Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. It's really fine. If you need to spoil something, I'm not gonna
It's
care.
not really much of a spoiler, but, like, there are cutscenes where he is, like, severely injured, and
And
then
he's
he will
fine.
just get up and kill the fool who's torturing him,
Yeah.
and then you're fine after that.
Like, he walks it off. He's a
Yes.
champ.
The dude is a straight up Wolverine. Like, so if torture from a Nazi doesn't kill him, what can kill him? Definitely not a zombie. They dumb.
Right?
So
He's a treasure.
exactly. All right, Cody. What's your next pick?
My next pick. I so my next pick is it kind of runs off that whole regenerative thing, but in the fact that the character kind of can't die, and that is the main protagonist from the Dark Souls series. So whoever you create.
Stop
Usually, yeah, my
Stop
character. My character is usually a curved sword, katana wielding. Doesn't need to worry about armor because he's got the fast rolls. They just roll all over the place. But yeah, I mean, how could you go wrong with a character who can get crushed by a giant hammer and just wakes up 20 seconds later at a near bonfire?
Well,
True. And he'll always be ready to make s'mores because he's near a campfire.
Yeah,
Praise the sun.
I mean, that's all he does is light bonfires. So we know he's handy or she's handy with fire. Pyromancy is well, duh. It's the OP of the of the Dark Souls lore, and yeah, is proficient with every weapon, at least like hand-to-hand combat, and also like bows and arrows and stuff. So yeah, like the Dark Souls protagonist, dude. Whoever you
so
create.
I don't want to be a party pooper. This is more, I'm bringing this up for the case of discussion. But is it like part of the lore that the people are undead? Like part of the world? Like it's not like something special about that specific person. It's just something about that area that makes them undead.
Yes, it's hollowing.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah, technically, it's so. I know there's probably going to be a Dark Souls fan or two out there that'll be like, "Oh, push up my glasses, got to correct you." But I think what it is
Hey,
that
buddy.
it's kind of in a because everything is like around something that's already decaying or dead. Everything has been lost, and you're collecting these like souls. But another part of it is too is that when you come to something that's really based to life, like fire, these bonfires where you can have respite, everything is regenerated back into the world. So I'm thinking what it is that every being there is already more or less dead. It's just they're fighting off this becoming even more dead, in a sense, if that makes sense. Like, the more you become hollow, the less of your soul or the less of yourself that you retain.
Well, I have like
That's why
thousands
you-
of souls.
Hmm?
I have thousands of souls in Dark Souls.
Oh, I
You just
know,
have-
right?
You got
Isn't
one
it
that
worse, though, when you lose them?
I always misplace things, so I feel like I'd be the worst Dark Souls player. So where did I put my souls? Has anybody seen my keys? Oh.
it's next to that big cliff and the huge dragon. That's what it is.
But if
knew
I
it.
had to actually, I know that's kind of a cop-out answer a little bit, but if I had to choose somebody from the Dark Souls lore, it'd have to be, God, what's it? It's Sigworth of Katarina, the Big Onion Knight. Because he is dopey, he is adorable, and he is the most honorable knight out of all of them.
Is he the guy that gives you the ability to play co-op?
No, that's, oh God, what's his name? I just call him the Sun Bro.
The
Oh.
sun, bro?
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at in the game. I know that's probably like really close to the beginning, but
Yeah, you'll meet him pretty close to the beginning.
yeah, that's where I'm at because I die so much, and then I scream.
Well, here's the advice that everyone gives you when you play Dark Souls: get good,
Okay, good.
get good.
Get good.
Who would've
All
thought
right,
that?
Jess, your next
Oh.
pick.
Okay, so the next one's kind of obscure. There was a Nintendo game that came out, I think around 2008, called Cooking Mama, and I would like
Mhm.
Mama from that. I would like that little chibi adorable woman to make stuff for the entire
He is the
survival team. Because if she could like chop anything together, so all we'd have to do is just find some veggies and she could make like a beautiful dish. She's like a human easy bake oven.
So basically,
And
you
that's
give
what
her
I
like some onions and cucumbers, and then she
Yeah.
makes you a beef stroganoff.
Honestly, she'd probably be good. Just give her like a trash can and some random stuff, and then have Sebastian make like an oven out of twine, and then we're good. We're good to go.
There you
Like
go.
we'll have a feast for kings.
You gotta be resourceful.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I think that like at this point I have like a really MacGyver guy, and then I have a chef, and I have Paw Rapper in case things get rough.
Throw him under the bus.
So, what
Wow.
about yours?
All right. My third pick. I figured I wanted to put a Belmont in my list because I'm a Castlevania guy, and the Belmonts have been around for centuries, killing off all sorts of monsters, whether undead or not undead. So I chose it took me a few minutes to think about this, but I chose Julius Belmont from. He appears in Castlevania Aria of Sorrow and Dawn of Sorrow.
Nice.
Not as the main character,
Yeah.
but like as an NPC. But you can also play him after you beat the game.
Yeah,
And
Julius is awesome.
I chose him because like he defeated Dracula in 1999 within this whole Castlevania lore. So that's close to our time period, and those games take place, I think, slightly in the future. So
Yeah, I think.
I
think so.
figure since he is slightly in the future, that should probably be the best pick rather than picking from somebody from ye old times instead. So Julius Belmont.
I approve. I like your survival team. Maybe we can team up. I'll let you throw Power Up or the Rapper.
Man. All right, Cody.
All right. Let's see. All right. So, if there's anyone synonymous, well, oh wait, that's definitely survival horror. So I'll put him to the side. I was gonna say Leon Kennedy.
Oh, he was on my original list and I took him off. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can use Leon Candy. I don't care.
Yeah. Like you just use him, man. He's a treasure.
Yeah. Then yeah, I'll go ahead and use. I'll say I'll use Leon Kennedy. And not because he is synonymous with killing zombies, which most of the time the games that you do play him as, it's not always about just killing zombies. In a sense, it's always kind of using logic and setting up different ways to stop the forces of evil or solve puzzles or to get to someplace. He's also very he's never corruptible, in a sense. He's somebody that you can absolutely 100% rely on no matter what. And that's what I always liked. Even when he has to deal with, helping out other people, even people who are, weaker than he is or could be considered a burden, a.k.a. the president's daughter.
Yeah.
He's able to keep, a cool head in all those kind of situations. That, and he's got a mean roundhouse kick. But yeah, Leon has stuck with that. He is no stranger to zombies in and of a sense, or any other kind of beast or monster that happens by. He's a logical thinker. He's also very tactical with how he plans about his loadouts and how to scavenge for items.
Personally, I wouldn't let him on my team for one reason. He won't let go of that 90s chili bowl haircut.
Man, he rocks that thing like Nobody's business.
He does kind of look like he's trying to go like audition for NSYNC. It's like your time has passed.
I'd tell him, get rid of that chili bowl or you're not on my team.
Oh well, in the sixth game, he kind of got rid of it, sort of.
Maybe that's what that chainsaw guy was actually trying to do in Resident Evil 4. He didn't want to cut off his head. He's just like, I just want to give you a haircut, man. It looks stupid.
What's that thing on your head? It looks dangerous.
Hold still.
I'm going to try and give you a regular one. Stop looking like Justin Bieber.
Oh, man. All right, moving on?
Moving on.
All right. I feel like at this point I need somebody to watch out for everybody. Not too much of a thinker, just like a tank. So I was thinking a Big Daddy from BioShock. Huge drill, can like help us get out of spaces really quickly if we need to, can take down huge amounts of enemies, and is just a tank. Like, plus it's got that fatherly figure thing going on. Take care of us.
Just call him Mr. Bubbles.
Yeah, it's just gonna be Bubbles. My Bubbles. I probably won't tell the zombies that because Bubbles sounds really not scary whatsoever. I feel like they're just like, oh.
Help me, Mr. Bubbles.
I'll have Paul Rapper the Rapper talk to him only. But yeah, so I was like, I think that would be good. He's huge, he's got a lot of HP, and like in Bioshock 2, he was a beast.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
I think one Big Daddy, one Bubbles.
BioShock 2 is the only one I didn't really play.
Really?
I even played Minerva's Den, the
Wow.
DLC for it.
Oh, yeah.
I liked it more than Infinite, so if you liked Infinite at all, I think Bioshock 2 is better than that, so.
Oh. So the reason why I skipped Bioshock 2 is because I didn't really care for Bioshock 1, but like people were saying that at least the Minerva's Den DLC was really good, and I had Bioshock 2 from a bundle, so I was like, okay, I'll try the Minerva's Den DLC since it's short. I
Yeah.
like Minerva's Den.
Minerva's Den was fun.
Alright, let's move on.
Yeah, I'm ready. Hit me with your pick.
Okay, next one on my list is the boss from Saints Row.
Oh, nice.
Yes, because the boss has gone through so much, running a gang, all the way to, becoming president, and then, like, traveling through time. And at one point, I think it was in Saints Row 3, like, an area gets infected with zombies, and then the boss and Burt Reynolds fight off the zombies. So
The boss and Burt Reynolds fight off zombies.
yeah, so the boss has
Why haven't they made
experience
that
against
movie yet?
zombies.
Yeah, I want that to be a movie.
There you go. All right, Cody, your fifth pick.
My fifth pick. Let's see. Tough decisions. Well, I have got a ton of just walking murder tanks on my list.
Yep.
You do have like a lot of all-American hero boys.
I do. Well, I got Meryl on there.
You do have Meryl. She must be happy.
Yeah.
even she's like an all-American hero. She's like what's her name? Ripley from
Oh yeah, Alien.
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 Like she even has like the same hair going on.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Ripley. And then, did you see that Reebok actually released the high tops?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, I wanted a pair of those so bad.
Those are the only
No.
reason why I saw them is because people on my Facebook feed were posting about it, and they're angry because it's only in male sizes, not female
really?
sizes. Even though Ripley is a female,
That's
Like-
Yeah.
ridiculous.
it's like iconic shoes of a female hero, and it's marketed for guys.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that's a bummer.
I would still just do it. Just figure out what like men's shoe size you wear.
Well, like the thing
Okay.
is, I mean, even though like the size difference is two shoe sizes,
Yeah,
male shoes are usually wider than female shoes.
Yeah.
it's good. I'm still covered because I have fat feet, so no problems. Pat it. Get Sebastian to mock something up for you. He's probably good at shoes.
So what were you gonna go with, Cody?
Man, I just have a ton of people to choose from. That's my biggest problem I'm facing right here. But if I had to choose somebody, I need somebody who is a somebody who can craft a home
Hmm.
in a sense.
So
Who
you're
can work?
choosing Minecraft Steve.
No, not choosing Minecraft. Um,
Minecraft Steve gets no love in the zombie apocalypse.
I need somebody who is good with understanding all the flora and fauna for a particular place, who is good at crafting not only like home spaces, but making sure that those spaces work well. They're very efficient. They work on not only a physical need but psychologically need as well. They need to be able to converse with tons of people and make sure to gather all this information and keep a society or just a small group of people together. And they also have to be a towering monolith to a society. They need to be represented um, as as like almost a beacon of hope, but at the same time
I know
as
exactly who you're talking about.
a look of
You're,
what?
you're talking about Clementine from Walking Dead.
No,
He's all of those.
no. Um, I need
He
somebody
doesn't want to
who's
cry all
revered,
the time.
who can, and after the apocalypse done, they could be the ones to craft the new world that we live in, and that one person has to be the villager from Animal Crossing.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you want kids, like the new generation, to have those bug eyes?
Yes. All of them with the bug eyes.
They look like our future generation would all look like serial killers.
I don't care. They're adorable. And hopefully they all turn out to be animal people.
If you pick the girl, imagine like the girl villager plus BJ Blazkowicz. It would be like this weird villager John Cena hybrid, like oh my god, that's nightmare inducing. I would almost take the zombies. I would just embrace sweet death at that point.
Oh man, that's definitely a pick that I would not have gone with myself,
That
but
was a surprise.
it's a pick.
You're welcome.
Thank you. That made me think.
All right, Jess, what do you got?
Mine would be Preston Garvey from Fallout 4. He's a sharpshooter. He is a good companion. He cares about his people, and he will always find you a settlement. You need a settlement. He's not going to go help you, like, do that settlement. He's just going to tell you, I found another settlement, go take care of it. But if we
found one.
Yeah,
You
right.
can go do it all now.
The
Go
zombie
away.
apocalypse, like, you're constantly needing to move, and he's always going to know. Like, there's a settlement over there. I'm like, thanks, Preston. It's going to be the one time that's useful.
Yeah. Preston for me was when I'd have to go back to the sanctuary to like talk to him.
Yeah?
Was that he was always like pseudo clipping through like a chair or like staring at a wall, and I'm like, you know what, Preston, you got this. You got this, buddy.
He's a man of many talents.
He is.
He, is occasionally Shadowcat from the X-Men. He walks through walls. And, he likes to occasionally just be with himself and meditate. I found him just wandering sometimes. Like he did that. He did that kind of creepy, like, do you take Lunesta and just like sleepwalk places? I would just find him like looking in a bush, and I'm like, are you okay, Preston? Are you all right? Did like something happen to you in the nuclear fallout that you need to talk to someone about?
Possibly.
But that's my pick. It's not as good as The Villager. I'm gonna just admit that right now. That was perfect.
All right.
What's your stuff?
Well, my final pick. I do have a couple of honorable mentions to mention afterwards, just quickly. But my final pick, it would be WX78 from Don't Starve.
Oh, nice.
Because I need somebody who can survive the wilderness, that can survive all sorts of dangers, dangerous creatures and monsters, and knows how to like build stuff. Chop down a few trees, get some logs, and make a science machine, and do whatever. Plus, out of the whole Don't Starve cast, he is a robot.
Yeah.
So he can't turn into a zombie.
That's true.
Boom. Boom.
We should have had more robots.
Oh,
exactly.
I thought about that.
Yeah, the guy from SteamWorld Dig.
Yeah. That would have been perfect. I mean, I guess the Big Daddy can't really turn into a zombie either, so I'm golden there, but... Man.
There you go. So, do you guys have any quick honorable mentions just to list off?
I got a few. I would say, what's his name? Oh, Kapkan from Rainbow Six Siege.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Yep, he is a very distraught Russian who knows how to make traps really well, and he usually carries around a conversion model AKS-74U, and a 9mm Makarov pistol.
Yeah, the honorable mention is supposed to be quicker.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then Shy Guy.
All right. that's a
Shy
pick.
Guy.
Do you have any honorable mentions, Jess?
I was gonna pick Nathan Drake, and then I just realized he would annoy the shit out of me. So that's about it.
My honorable mentions would be Shaq from Shack Down. The reason why he's an honorable mention and not on my actual list is because he's a real person, but some may argue that he's a real person based off of a video game character. So
True.
I was thinking you were gonna go for Shaq Fu.
no, in Shack Down he fights mutant zombies, so they're even
That's
worse
right.
than zombies.
Yeah.
He punches them.
You went classic, like.
And also, I have on my honorable mentions is Team Fortress 2, like the entire crew,
Oh,
yeah.
all of them,
that would work.
just all of them together. That's it. All right, so that was our picks for a zombie survival team. Listeners, who would you have from a video game on your zombie survival team? Let us know. Send us an email at podcast@outofcontinues.com. That's the email address, podcast@outofcontinues.com. So, do you know what doesn't need a zombie survival team because they just got you covered no matter what?
Steak fries.
Close.
Power Up the Rapper?
Not as close. I'm talking
I
about
think I know the answer.
DreamHost.
DreamHost. That's
I knew
right.
it.
I knew it. I should have.
That was my
DreamHost-
second pick.
Yeah, they don't need
all
a
five of
zombie
my
survival
zombies
team.
DreamHost.
Because you know why they don't need a zombie survival team?
Why is that?
Because their web service that offers unlimited storage, unlimited bandwidth, user-friendly interface, and also optimized to use content managers such as WordPress and many more features. All that just for $8.95 US a month. But if you use the promo code OutOfContinues, that's one word, no spaces, it'll waive away the setup fee and get your free domain registration. So zombies ain't gonna do nothing at that point.
I I will be the first one to say to bow down to the new overlords called DreamHost, because at this point, if you're not using DreamHost, you're just taking money and throwing it away.
Honestly, you're on the side of the zombies.
Yeah, you
Exactly.
like check your bank account or your bank statement, and if it doesn't have DreamHost on it, then check your skin, because it's probably all clammy and shelly because you're a zombie.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
You know it. DreamHost.
Basically, DreamHost. Go ahead, unless you're undead.
Ooh. So, anyways, quick announcements. iTunes. If you use iTunes, one of the single most helpful things you could do for this podcast is to leave an iTunes review, because I have like no iTunes reviews. The last one was from 2014, and that was a long time ago. And Apple goes by week basis, so if I have no new reviews on a given week, then to them it's like I have no reviews at all, so I don't even show up on the the podcast charts. So please leave an iTunes review. Doesn't need to be a high quality review. The only thing that matters is the quantity of reviews. So just be like, hey, I listen to this podcast. Boom, whatever stars. Bam, that's it.
Whatever stars.
Whatever stars. In fact, Cody, I think the last review was done by you.
Probably.
It was done by you.
Cody, why are you slacking?
You know what? I'm sorry.
Hey, it's not his fault. He is like the last one who tried. It's everyone else.
There's only so much that one man can do.
Yeah. So if you can leave an iTunes review, please leave an iTunes review. I'd really appreciate it. If you can't leave an iTunes review for whatever reason, there are other ways to help out the podcast, and you can do so by sharing the podcast on social media, such as Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, whatever you want to use. Tell a friend, and if you don't like this podcast for whatever reason, then tell an enemy. Be like, hey, I don't like your face. Go listen to It Continues. Another quick announcement. I mentioned last week that we're now on Google Music Play. So if that's the thing that you use, check us out there. You can subscribe to the podcast. All the newest episodes get uploaded straight to there, and you'll get the new episodes through the Google Music Play subscription. Bam. Now on to the news. Let me screen share real quick the news. And bam, there we go. Alright, hide that. So anyways, first the article we have on here, we're talking about Five Nights at Freddy's. The next game got teased. This is by Scott, what's his name? Cawthon? Scott Cawthon. I think that sounds right.
I think so.
So Scott Cawthon, the creator of Five Nights at Freddy's, he made like 3 Five Nights at Freddy's and then a Five Nights at Freddy's World RPG or whatever it's called, that ended up not doing so well. Like it got like really bad reviews, and then he pulled it, and then he put it back up on GOG. Oh, excuse me, I had a burp or a hiccup or something.
It's probably just looking at Five Nights at Freddy's, man. It's okay.
Yeah. So yeah, like. Basically, he pulled it because it was kind of rushed, and then he put it back up on GOG as a free game. So if you want to check it out, you can check it out there. But anyways, he's now teasing the next game, which is basically this teaser image that says "Sister Location." There was never just one, and there's something else down here. Oh, it's just never mind, I thought that was words. But anyways, this is the teaser image. There is never just one. What are your guys' thoughts? Like personally, my only thoughts on this is I feel like this guy Scott Cawthon, I think he might be pumping out too many games within a short period of time. I think he might want to like slow down on.
Yeah, the first Five Nights at Freddy's was admirable, considering that he made it all himself, and it was all right for what it was. But after, like, I don't know, I could barely get through 2, and then by 3 I was just done. And it's one of those things, there is never just one because you won't stop making them.
Yeah,
Stop.
exactly.
Just put it aside, Scott. I feel like Scott was one of those kids at school that just threw stuff in your face, and he just decided, I'm good at that. I'm gonna make a video game.
Cody, what's your thoughts? I mean, have you played the Five Nights at Freddy's games?
Yeah, because Five Nights at Freddy's holds a kind of a neat, interesting place in at least how I always considered video games to go. The original one I thought was really close to a masterpiece, and what the limitations were with the game, and just the type of atmosphere that it created through this kind of like very, very just whatever kind of story, but it all seemed to flow and work together, and it was really interesting. And in the second game itself, it came out, and then what was neat is at that point I wasn't necessarily worried about so much of a story per se, but I was really interested in how like he was able to take basically the same thing but switch up the mechanics to draw out a whole new series of game. And granted, like they're relatively interesting. It's just it's that whole he had kind of the Ubisoft syndrome with it. Now, granted, these games are bare bones.
I think calling the Ubisoft syndrome is like putting it lightly, because Ubisoft will put out a game a year. This guy put out like 4 games within 1 year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, granted, I imagine these games are not so, like, heavily, involved as far as like the making of it processed. And granted, I imagine like as far as the story is, which I won't spoil anything. I imagine most people do, but by the time I got to the 4th game, and then I've read forums and watched the debacle that was the game theorist breakdowns of the games, where a lot of people were upset that he wasn't taking certain liberties, blah, 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 blah. But what happened at the end of it, what was found to be what the story was, it was very disappointing, kind of phoned in at that point. And now the game just seems to synonymously live by the Twitch streamers, the Markipliers, and just the scare bait Twitch streamers that that play off that, where
your PewDiePies and your Just Playins.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I've streamed Five Nights at Freddy's. That's essentially the reason that I played it.
Yeah.
Like, it was, and the weird thing is, it's got a very cult following with children. Like.
Oh yes.
Like, it's odd because you wouldn't expect it from that type of game, but just because of the way that the characters are designed, you've got a large, like, weird, obsessive following with the tweens.
Yeah. Well, I currently work for I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not, but I'm going to go ahead with. I work for GameStop, and the amount of memorabilia that we sell is ridiculous. At first, it just started as kind of like these those backpack hanger charms, basically like little keychains.
Yeah.
But we sell everything from like stickers, buttons, plushies. We had a series of these like almost like cheap knockoff pens. They were still, licensed by the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise and stuff, but they were just like kind of poorly made pens with erasers with the characters' heads on them, and we couldn't hold them fast enough in our store. Like they just went, and but the children are just like drawn to this, and I think a big portion of that too is just that they do get a lot of traffic through a lot of online personalities, YouTube and Twitch, and it's neat to see that as far as in the game world that a game could possibly do such a thing. It's just like if you test it up by the merits of the game itself, they're okay. The story, like I said, extremely disappointing for me at least.
Yeah.
yeah, it's neat. I don't particularly like to just bash something just because it's gotten huge amounts of popularity. It's just for me, the original the first Five Nights at Freddy's. I remember me and a bunch of my friends got together. We turned off all the lights and we played it in the living room, and it was terrifying. It was every like we wanted to get through the first 5 nights. We wanted to make sure that we did it. But every time we would fail and they would, you die or something like that. It was always like a point around the room. No, 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 no. You're gonna play it this time. No, I don't want to. No, it's so good. It's like no,
Yeah.
you got to do this. And it genuinely it was a terrifying and fun experience. It's just I like to live within that memory of it and keep it there for me.
Yeah, the first one definitely has some like nostalgic feels. And I think like this one almost kind of looks like a clown, so I'm wondering if they're gonna go back to the amusement park type thing from like 3. But I don't know. Now it just feels like he owes someone money. Just like, Cawthon's got some bills to pay today.
Yeah, I'm
Just
guessing so
location.
too. 'Cause, I mean, I did just like a quick math crunch, and on a single box of those blind bags, that's $100 worth of product, and we'll
Yeah.
sell 3 of those boxes in like 2 days.
I just wish he would branch out. I wish he would, like, because he's got potential. Like, that first one was so good. I just wish he would branch away a little bit from Five Nights at Freddy's and kind of explore,
Yeah,
and then maybe go back to it. But, like, give us a little breeze. Like, give us a little breathing room.
yeah.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
sound like I'm breaking up with Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, it's not you. It's me. We should see other scare jump games.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've never played any of these games. My perspective is basically from the outside looking in, and like I obviously see that he made a game that a lot of people liked, and I've heard that despite the issues with those games, that there's those people like those games, but it's one thing to be like, okay, I made a hit and I want to capitalize off it and make another one to try to like make some more money, but from my perspective, outside looking in, it just seems like he doesn't know when to stop. And that was kind of ironic how like I had this little cursor above S and it looked like a dollar sign.
That really does.
but anyways, like it just seems like he doesn't know exactly when to stop, take a breath, and either work on something new or just like take a little longer and make something that's more refined and release it a little bit later rather than pumping out a new game like every few months.
You should definitely approach him with that though, and be like, "Oh, hey, I did this by accident. You should put the S in your name and Scott like a dollar sign, like Kesha.
There you go.
Hashtag hire Staffa."
Yep, hire Staffa. Make the first S on sister location a dollar sign.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
All right, let's move on.
Okay.
Speaking of money, there's an esport team has been banned from the ESL, which is Esports League. I think that's what it stands for. Electronic Sports League.
Bounce chicka womp womp.
And they are Team YouPorn because they are sponsored by YouPorn. And like at first I was like, well, that's kind of dumb that they got banned just because they're called Team YouPorn. And then like basically they offered to change their name to something else, but that still wasn't good enough for ESL. And basically what ESL said to them was they released a statement saying that the reason why that they aren't allowed to participate with ESL is because ESL has partners in which any like advertisement of pornography, drugs, or alcohol is not allowed. I'm assuming Twitch is probably like one of those partners because
Yeah.
Twitch is big
Yeah.
with esports, and I know Twitch, recently has been cracking down a lot on like adult related material and pornographic material, stuff like that.
Yeah, a lot of
So,
games have been added to the banned list.
yeah, like they've been exactly. I mean, they've been not only banning games, but setting rules like you can't stream a game shirtless, and show on your
Yeah.
webcam. That applies to both females and males. A male can't be shirtless on webcam streaming a game on Twitch. So, I'm only assuming Twitch is one of these partners with ESL, and they probably have other partners. Probably ESPN is probably one of them, because I know ESPN has been doing stuff with esports lately. And I can imagine that no drugs, alcohol, and pornography probably applies with ESPN. So once that statement came out from the ESL, I thought this makes a bit more sense. But when I at first just hearing about this news that this Team YouPorn got banned, I'm like, well, that's kind of stupid. You guys have any thoughts on this that you want to add?
I just think they were asked to leave, not really because of their affiliation, because it just takes them so long to set up when they play at ESL. They gotta come in dressed as pizza delivery guys, set up the music, have a tenuous plot before they can start playing Call of Duty.
Pizza's here. Is
But
it
no,
hot in here? Is it just me?
Makes
Yeah, your
sense to me.
controller's
Like,
not charged. Allow me to do that for you.
want to put that in the slot there? This is a 3-player game. Alright?
Oh, wow.
It's one of those things where I understand why they did it. Like, it sucks. I don't understand why they just didn't do it sooner, though. You'd think that would have been kind of like, why let them in the first place? That seems kind of like an obvious problem in the
Well,
future.
in the statement over here, it says that they contacted. It says we spoke to the manager of Team YouPorn earlier this year, and in that conversation, we explained the situation and the rules in detail, and offered to look for potential alternatives in a bigger group. At the same time, we're consulting
Yeah.
with our legal teams about this. We'll inform the team and the management as soon as we have any updates. So it looks like that they did contact the manager of Team YouPorn earlier this year, and they didn't they only offered to change the name, and that wasn't good enough.
Yeah,
So-
it's a strange thing where it's in and of itself it is a business where a lot of sports teams and a lot of sports like franchises and stuff have kind of dealt with similar things, whereas beer is a definite big one for most sports games and stuff.
Yep.
You'll see that they're
Coors Light is like all over everything. Or Bud Light.
Coors Light or any of those kind of things, which is it. Originally it was always seen as these were family-centered based kind of events or anything like that, which if we look at like statistics, I can personally I don't see how like porn is necessarily as destructive as like alcohol is, because I don't think YouPorn is necessarily like responsible for like the third most biggest cause of death in America at this time.
Depends how you're doing it.
Granted, I'll understand that, but yeah, it's just I understand the sense of it, and see, I'm all about more or less non-censorship. I could see that if Team YouPorn is able to affiliate with another team or something like that, so that they can still continue to do official sponsorships while having their name still represented, but not as the official team name.
Well, it's not just the name that was an issue. It's having the sponsorship period that was the issue right there.
Yeah, since they were affiliated with it, it's just one of those things. Either they've changed the name, they know that they're still advertising in a way
Yeah.
that service.
I would. My big thing is that I would try to look at where this originally started. If this was YouPorn coming to these players and stuff, which I saw one of the players that was in the picture. He's a prolific Smash Bros. Fighter. Super Smash Bros. Melee, at least I know. The other guy
Which,
that
for the
might-
record, is not a fighting game.
There
I
are.
was just thinking it was just because of the smashing aspect.
But yeah. See, so you're looking at. I think the other guy is Filipino Man, which yeah, personal bias. I absolutely hate that dude. No, Filipino
I
Man
just like the fact this has
which?
become. He's just
It is
banned from my heart.
garbage. I hate that dude.
Which one's Filipino Man?
I don't think that's him on the right. The guy on the left, man, I can't remember his name, but he's a prolific Smash Bros. Fighter.
Okay.
I've just seen lots of fights where he's there. You know, these are two very, because I think the guy on the right is Filipino Man, and he's primarily a Street Fighter fighter, which is funny enough to say. But no, I just so I would ask myself, as far as like, you know, a person who hosts these kind of things, or ESL, or even the team itself, like, was it them that went and asked for YouPorn sponsorship? Which, if it was, then yeah, then, you know, you should have known that with these types of laws and where this was going, that this, you know, this was definitely not going to be okay in this realm. If it was YouPorn going after these young men, then it should have been, you know, there should have been some sort of accountability on the subject matter in hand. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want to say necessarily that YouPorn doesn't have a place in any kind of type of advertisement, because, like I said, alcohol and cigarettes, if they're able to be advertised, and also like Viagra is able to be advertised, I don't see why pornography can't be advertised in some sort of way either.
Mm-hmm.
It's my same spiel on video games as a whole. There's some very, very hateful, disgusting, nasty video games out there that are both racist, sexist, and you know, just ultra violent for the sake of it. But I still will never say that those games should be banned, or they should never be, you know, I don't think they should just be created, because they're being created out of hate of some sort of thing. So, but more or less banning it, I don't know, it doesn't show class in the art form that this is where it's at. So they've got a lot of thinking to do, especially with a decision like this, and really, hopefully, they do it tactfully and you know, understand the market in which they're in, and hopefully both sides, the people that are part of the team as well as YouPorn, you know, come out of this without being too scathed or completely shunned or kicked out of any of these kind of sense. Because that should, one, it's bad advertisement, and two, it's just bad karma.
Yeah, this article doesn't really mention how it went, but I'm assuming that YouPorn was the one that put this team together. You know, that's not based off of any fact at all. That's just an assumption. But
Yeah.
you know, this article doesn't really clarify that part. But,
I know they've been around for at least 2 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Can
they've
you
been
scroll
around
down
for a
real
bit.
quick, Samantha, to like the very bottom? I noticed something. So that like
This?
naked lady in a field, is that them just leaving the ESL? They're
Yeah,
like, I'm sorry, you've been banned.
no longer allowed.
That's actually a pretty neat conversation piece to begin with as well. A lot of people are up in arms about that one.
All right, let's move on.
Yep.
Let's talk about our good friend of the show, who I stood feet away from at GDC, close enough to reach out and touch him, but I didn't because I'm not a creeper. Mr.
Security.
John Romero.
Oh yeah, John Romero. All hail the king, baby.
That's Duke Nukem or Ash from Evil Dead quote.
Yep.
It's not Doom. Anyways,
Well, I get that from the Evil Dead because they John Romero and Carmack, they took a lot of inspiration for the original Doom games from the Evil Dead.
oh really?
Yeah.
Yep. That's where I got it.
So unlike Doom, which just stole stuff from Evil Dead, they just took inspiration.
Oh yeah.
All right, John Romero and Adrian Carmack. Adrian Carmack, unrelated to John Carmack, which is kind of weird that the original
the Romeros
id
and Carmacks
team,
hang out together, I guess.
yeah, the original id team had two Carmacks and two Johns. So, anyways, Adrian Carmack was like the art director for the original id and Doom, and John Romero being one of the founders and game designers for Doom. So they announced a Kickstarter this past week, and within the same week they canceled the Kickstarter. So basically, this game, Black Room, it's a first-person shooter. It's in the vein of Doom, old school shooting. The video for the Kickstarter, I wasn't really too impressed by it because all it was just concept art. Like there was no gameplay at all. And I think this is why they ended up closing down the Kickstarter. They decided that they want to cancel the Kickstarter for now and then try again. When they have like a playable demo. Basically, before they cancel it, John Romero said that, hey, that's that level I made for Doom that I released earlier this year. That's basically a teaser for what I'm going to do for Black Room, and he said that all the levels he's going to do personally for Black Room. So, I mean, it does sound pretty cool. It sounds exciting, but I do like the fact that they're going to try again with a playable demo because I wasn't really too happy with the fact that they just released this video that had absolutely nothing but for concept art, like no actual like screenshots or anything. It seemed like it was only in pre-production and not in production yet.
Yeah. Kickstarter has a way of I am so iffy with Kickstarter. It's not funny. One of my biggest concerns with Kickstarter is that just putting things up there. I think there needs to be a level of okay, this at least needs to be the minimum of what you have completed before you can put up Kickstarter, and that's definitely at least video of the game being played. And possibly even like a playable demo that can be sent out to people when they back the Kickstarter, because I've seen it so many times and I've been burnt out of money. Like I've been burnt out of $80 before because backing a video game that just never saw the light of day because the Kickstarters are just like no, never mind, we're just not going to do it.
Yeah, I think Kickstarter definitely needs to change some things about it. It's kind of why I stopped using it as much unless I know it's a game that's going to get made.
I mean, I don't think it's Kickstarter's fault per se. I mean, because Kickstarter is more than just video games. Like they have all sorts of different types of projects on there. So it's kind of hard to say you have to have this much, proof of concept or whatever before actually submitting to us because a lot of these Kickstarter projects they need the money to even start the whole thing, but I mean there's another thing that's another program other than Kickstarter is called Fig. I think it's like Fund Indie Games or something like that. It's basically it was put together by like Double Fine, Tim Schafer and a few other indie developers that originally used Kickstarter. I think the guy that made what's it called, Wasteland 2
Oh
was
yeah.
also one of the people
Yeah.
that helped found Fig. So Fig is similar to Kickstarter, where you can like put it's only for games. You put your project on there and try to get people to back it, but I think there's certain regulations as to how much of the game needs to be complete before they can put it up on there. Also, the other difference between Fig and Kickstarter is that Fig uh, allows the person to be an investor of the company rather than just I'm pre-ordering this item.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I do want to say that I don't really have qualms against Kickstarter at all, because a lot of the times like I use Kickstarter for like board games, and usually those companies you can always see like because they'll show off like what they have done and what they have complete, and a lot of the times you can always kind of gauge like where they're at, because they've got the game completed basically. Like, okay, here's the game. This is what we're gonna do. It's just now we need the money to produce the game and give it to players, and that Kickstarter is great for local like local indie filmers, to crafts, to like board games and stuff. But I don't know, it's just there's always been, and this is actually the first time I've ever heard of Fig, so that sounds like it's really cool. It's just a lot of people take advantage of this Kickstarter thing, and it shows a lot of the time, and it's is this it?
I think so.
Fig
No, this doesn't seem like
But
it.
it's not. Yeah. Oh, what about Fig video game crowdfunding?
Yeah.
Right there.
Right there.
Third down. No.
There you go.
You got there.
There we go.
Yeah.
Fig
that's
brings
good.
communities together to publish video games.
Yeah.
So these are some games that have reached their goal. The Jay and Silent Bob Chronic Blunt Punch. That sounds so stupid.
That's too good.
Consortium
That's
the
amazing.
Tower. This is a sequel to Consortium, which is a game that got funded on Kickstarter, and basically it's like an homage to Mass Effect. It's only like 3 or 4 hours long. I mean, it's a really short game. It was always supposed to be like part one of like 3 or something like that.
Okay.
So the first Consortium, got its funding through Kickstarter. The second Consortium game they put on Kickstarter and it failed. So then they put it on Fig, and now, as you can see, they reached their goal.
Yeah. I do like that they finally did this with games that gives because there's really not a really good way to like showcase where you're at with particular things like digital video games that are not being that need the crowdfunding, because a lot of times, yeah, they can't even start on the basic like just programming and getting art assets in there and doing stuff like if they're going to have 3D modeling or if they're going to have motion capture or anything like that. So those are really expensive endeavors that these people have to acquire. So it's really hard to see any kind of progress whatsoever. That's probably why Romero and Carmack decided to pull the Kickstarter and be like, hey, maybe we should back off and give this a little bit more life beforehand. So yeah, it's really
I
nice
think, I
seeing.
think the real reason why they wanted to back off is because they heard that I wanted to make a Kickstarter for Beware the Bully 2. So
Right?
they thought that maybe it might hurt their chances of getting full funding, so they wanted to wait for me to do my Kickstarter first, and then they'll do their Kickstarter.
Beware the Bully 2 is the, real visceral FPS shooter that everyone's wanting, so Blackroom needs to wait.
Exactly. That's how you beat the bully. Just bring a gun to school.
I don't know. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. And I think that they'll get a lot more positive reception if they actually have a playable demo and some
Yeah.
other things to actually bring to the Kickstarter before they're there.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a good move, and also I'm pretty excited to see John Romero try to bring Doom back to the world, because this new Doom does not seem like it's doing it. I played the beta and I was not very.
I didn't play it, but I watched some people and I was not that impressed.
Yeah,
I
I
think
was.
the biggest problem is that they should have released like a demo with some actual monsters in it and stuff, because I've seen gameplay of the actual the monster battles, and granted it doesn't have the same Doom-esque feel, but then again, a lot of people said that about Doom 3, where it kind of took a departure on where it was. And then, yeah, just throwing out that multiplayer, yeah, I knew the multiplayer was going to be lackluster at best. But I'm the jury is still out with me on the new Doom that's coming out, because it has a lot of potential, especially with the new snap map ability, which
that was what that got me so hyped about it to begin with. But once I played that beta, I was just very unimpressed.
Yeah, I really wish they would have released a demo instead of just a multiplayer beta, because a lot of people have been saying the same thing. They were unimpressed with the beta. And then granted, I had some fun with it. It was relatively nice, fast paced or whatever not, but it kind of stuck to some tropes that are, native in first-person multiplayer experiences nowadays, that they really should have showcased something that was new. I mean, just give us a small little demo map with some of the monsters in it, and have us have a handful of the guns, because we've all seen gameplay footage of all of the weapons being used. Why not let us have a chance to go wild and kill some demons?
Yeah, I thought the game was confused. It didn't know if it wanted to be old school Quake arena shooter, or if it wanted to be a more modernized shooter where you could only have 2 guns and no more than that.
Yeah.
And it was just this middle ground where it did neither well.
Yeah.
And what was strange is that at PAX East they had this huge Doom setup with a statue and stuff, but they were just doing the multiplayer beta still. And I'm like, why don't you have at least a demo there, or something extra for the multiplayer beta? I mean, this was just out. You're getting a large crowd, but it's something that we've all played already or seen.
Yeah,
Well,
it's just
hopefully John Romero saves us, because he's like Jesus. I mean, he has that long hair.
yeah. Like I said, I think what happened is that these guys fell into a trope that's happening a lot more nowadays. It's that you're almost expected to release a beta of some sort, and especially if you have a multiplayer campaign, they're thinking, hey, this will bring in people who originally don't know about Doom and stuff. And I'm just saying, and to me, it's look, bring people and have them showcase what Doom has always been about, and that's about using awesome weapons that feel good, which a lot of the weapons don't at this point. There's a couple underwhelming weapons in there, but yeah, bring it so that we can actually fight some of those iconic demons that you've been hyping up so much.
Yeah.
Give us that, even if it's just a 10-minute playable demo where we get to just go wild for 10 minutes in a closed-off arena against other demons.
This is how you know that multiplayer beta was just not good. You could only have 2 weapons, but yet the weapons weren't even balanced.
Yeah.
That's just a fundamental issue, just flat out, because you can't pick up the other enemy weapons when you know they drop them. You can only select the weapons for your loadout before you spawn, and you know you only have 2, but yet the weapons aren't even balanced. So what's the point of just having 2 weapons? It's just a fundamental flaw right there.
Yeah.
But hey, not this article isn't about Doom, so let's move on. Let's talk about some other big failure.
Nintendo being Nintendo. It feels like
No,
a
this is
college
not-
student.
Hold on, give me 1 second. This is not the article I was supposed to. Where
Oh,
is
was
it?
it the Zelda one?
The Zelda one. Do I even have that Zelda one on here?
Do you have a link to the past?
Oh my god. Hold on. There is.
Don't have
supposed
your
to be-
links, man. Hey.
Zelda Game Spot.
Is it just called NX because it's just going to be next year, then next year, then next year?
Zelda 2017. This is not helping.
I'm surprised you can't just find it by Zelda and then Nintendo of America. That was what most of the news articles were originally. Because when it broke, everyone was so
Here,
mad,
I'll
and I was just
grab
sitting home with my
anything
other
that's
consoles.
Not exactly the original one I had. There we go. This one.
Boom!
It's close enough.
That is definitely not Link. Or they have
Yeah.
upgraded him quite a bit. He's
I don't
beefed up.
know why they have a picture
Dark
of.
Siders too.
Link hit the gym. Jeez.
Yeah. He went through his goth phase. It's
I have no idea why they have a picture of Death
you,
from
Zelda.
Darksiders 2, but whatever. Anyways, so Nintendo recently decided that the new Zelda game, which I guess people just call them Legend of Zelda Wii U, is postponed until 2017. So a game that was announced, when was it announced? Like 2014? It was shown
Yeah.
2014,
Yeah.
I think. It was delayed till 2016, and now it's delayed again till 2017. But they are confirming that it will be on both Wii U and the Nintendo NX. So, yeah, what is
that?
up with Nintendo? And on top of that, it is also going to be the only playable game that they will have at E3 this year.
Wow.
I just feel like I don't know, I feel like they're having a midlife crisis or something. Like, they waited and they were like, well, we were supposed to have that out. I didn't realize that was the deadline. Like, I just woke up one day.
I mean, when they were showing off that, you know, the open world gameplay of Zelda, when was that, like 2 years ago, I think, or
about
so?
2 years.
Yeah, when they're showing off that gameplay, I was like, man, this looks really bad, because all the trees look exactly the same. The way
Yeah.
how Epona was turning looked terrible. It just looked like a mess. I know some people were really hyped for it when they saw it, but I think those people are going to be hyped no matter what they saw, because
Yeah, they were
I mean,
Zelda fans. Like.
yes. But you know, either way, so like I was not very impressed by it, but now they're like, hey, we're pushing it back even further, plus it's going to be the only playable game at E3 this year. I'm just thinking, what are you doing, Nintendo? Where are your other games? Why is that going to be the only game at E3 that you're going to have?
What makes me wonder too is the fact that like they've got a core in their Zelda people. Like that keeps them afloat. Like I know so many people that bought a Wii U specifically for the Zelda stuff, and they're saying they're not going to buy an NX because of this. Like that's going to really hurt their sales now that they've upset those people. Like then you're just going to be staying afloat with like your Mario and your Animal Crossing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you've got these franchises built, and that's all that's keeping you afloat.
Yeah, and I thought it was pretty obvious that, you know, when the release date of this Zelda game was like seeming further and further away, I thought it was pretty obvious that they're going to eventually release this on both platforms, you know, similar to Twilight Princess, which some people want to remember that it, or they want to forget that it was on GameCube. A lot of people just seem to only remember it on the Wii, but it was a GameCube game originally, and it did come out on the GameCube.
Oh, to tell you the truth, I actually like the GameCube version of it a lot better, just because because it came out at that early cycle of the Wii, where the motion controls were still kind of finicky.
Mm-hmm.
That it wasn't that much of an enjoyable experience. I am a classic Zelda player at heart, where Link to the Past is going to be my favorite Zelda game, hands down. And I think the last time that they made a really good attempt at making a very fleshed out but new experience to the Zelda franchise was Wind Waker, and a lot of people didn't like Wind Waker. Saying because it was just so far of like a departure from what it originally was, but it was one of the most unique, and it had also kind of its own little style to it itself, that cell shading kind of look to it, and I don't know, it just, I reminisce for a time when Zelda games were about the adventure itself and not contrivances, which are like ham-fisted, especially in the Twilight Princess and I can't remember the other Skyward Sword, which those were both very lackluster and kind of disappointing to me as far as Zelda experiences are concerned. So I'm really hoping that they're going to do something legendary with this new Zelda game, that
the legendary of Zelda.
Yeah, I was like, nice.
It's just, I want them to be able to renew this series and make it something new and engaging and fantastic. And and I'm all about, if you're going to delay games, then do it for a good reason or something like that. But we all see that multiple delays are not always the best thing as well. I mean, we have Duke Nukem Forever to look at when we think of that. But yeah, it's just Nintendo.
Yeah, I heard that Moses was one of the original programmers for Duke Nukem Forever.
I think so. It was either Moses or Jesus, one of the two.
But yeah, I'm just baffled by what Nintendo has going on at this point, because they're trying to shake things up with like, hey, we're doing mobile games, and Miitomo came out like a few weeks ago, and that was just trash. I played that, played with air quotes that for like a few days, and then I uninstalled it.
Exactly. It was one of those things. I played Miitomo for about a week, and then it was just kind of like, then it just cycles through the same questions. So then it's like, oh, what are you doing this weekend? Well, that's the same question you asked me last week, and then it just kind of was
it started asking me what I was doing last weekend, and it asked me twice. And
I also would just it got really creepy too, really fast. I don't know if you got the questions where it was like, what do you look for in a life partner? What do you enjoy doing at night? And I'm like, are you stalking me, Miitomo? Are you outside my window? There's just, I'm gonna open the blinds and there's just a Miitomo figure. I have coins.
It seemed like they were making their own version of Facebook, except gamified, but there was no real gamification behind it, other than you get coins to buy clothes from the store.
Yeah.
That was basically it. And
the clothes can't even really be customized that much, so it's just kind of like, if there's nothing that you want to buy, then you're just kind of like, oh, I've got these coins for no reason.
Yeah. Wear a Mario hat.
Yeah. And then they didn't even have a Luigi hat that I saw. I'm like, I like Luigi.
It's no longer the year of Luigi, so
it's
too bad,
always
so sad.
the year of Luigi in my heart. So.
One kind of side note though about the whole E3 thing, on one hand, I feel like Nintendo, like, it's like, what's Nintendo doing? How come they only have one playable game? But on the other hand, like, is this like more of a sign that E3 is dying out because Nintendo is not going to have a big presence at E3, only having one playable game, and we already had confirmation from like EA, who said that they're not going to be at E3, and several other companies said that they're not going to be at E3. So looks like this is probably going to be like the smallest E3 in quite a while.
It very well could be. I mean, since it's not open to the general public, they may be going to more venues like PAX and stuff, because they had a huge Nintendo booth there.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, they had a small one, very, very small one at PAX South. So it's one of those things where it's like, maybe they're enjoying more going out and being able to think that's going to be a better choice for them, I guess.
Yeah, like
Which is
EA
way
is
cool.
what EA is going to do is they're basically going to have their own event separate from E3, and it's going to be for the public rather than like a private event at E3. So basically, they're going to be showing off their game. They're still going to be showing off their games, but like to everybody instead.
Yeah.
But yeah, so. Moving on to the next article, Nintendo says the NX will not make an appearance at E3 2016. So, they've confirmed multiple times that they're going to like announce the NX, like give it the actual name. I mean, some of you might remember like the other Nintendo consoles have had like code names like the Dolphin, the Katana. Was the Katana? No, I think the Katana was like the Dreamcast. So never mind. So the Revolution, Nintendo Revolution, ended up being the Nintendo Wii, and so the NX is just a code name. They were going to announce it this year, give it the actual name, but they're not going to show it. They're not going to show the actual hardware. So I'm assuming they're still going to like at least talk about it. Hopefully, show some games. But it sounds like they're not gonna talk too much about it.
That seems like such a bad move too, because it's like, oh hey, the new Zelda's gonna be on this, but we're not, and we're gonna have a playable demo of Zelda or something there, but I'm not gonna have it on the NX. Like, come on, Nintendo, please, please. I feel like we're those people at an intervention. We're just like, we're here at E3 because we love you, Nintendo.
Yeah, I think really, I think it's going to show like the pressure that such conventions like E3 put on a lot of these game companies to constantly keep producing more and more and more and more games. Where I mean, just May alone, there's like 5 or 6 huge titles that are coming out. The new Uncharted, Doom, Overwatch, Battleborn. Battleborn comes out this Tuesday, and then a whole slew of other games that I'm just forgetting about that are just coming out May alone, and then all the other games previous to that have come out. Like games are exploding, especially with the new consoles that are coming out, like the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One and stuff. That it's almost hard to keep up, and a lot of the time it's they're just pushing to have titles to show at E3. Now, granted, I think they're going to make a huge push with the whole VR thing during E3, and they might show off some more hardware and more like subscription bases or just general base ideas. But as far as like actual games are concerned, I don't think they really need to go all out as much. Granted, I am one that will always say that I think as far as the consoles are concerned, they need to really just like, look, these are the systems that are out now, and let's show you everything that you can do with them instead of just kind of driving home the point that they're new.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, oh man, I don't know. I don't really have too much else to say about this. Ready to move on?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, Sega.
Yay.
So remember those awesome Sega games back in the day?
Oh yeah.
The Genesis. Well, Sega, this is kind of crazy. I did not expect this to happen. So it's basically, well, Sega, they have on Steam like this like Sega, like what's it called? The Genesis and Mega Drive Classic collection, and they added a Steam Workshop where people can basically put ROM hacks on there, because this collection is essentially just ROMs,
Yeah.
and it's basically legal emulation because you're paying for them rather than illegally downloading. And so Sega is like, well, let's make a Steam Workshop and allow people to put their ROM hacks on here, and it's pretty wild that they even did this. So the ROM hacks range from basically improvements to just crazy and wild stuff. Like an example of an improvement would be
Someone put Knuckles in something, right?
well, like they have like Sonic 3 Complete, where the Sonic 3 was basically a game that was in multiple cartridges. Like you'd have to put like Sonic, like the Sonic and Knuckles, and then you put Sonic 3 on top of it to get like the whole game, or something like that. Well, like Sonic 3 Complete has like all that put together. Another example would be like one of the games would be translated to Portuguese. That's way Portuguese-speaking players can play the game, with their language. What game was it?
The fact that Tim Allen Streets of Rage one doesn't have 5 stars.
Beyond Oasis, that's what it is.
Okay.
So, Beyond Oasis was translated in Portuguese by a fan. So, and there is this Streets of Rage 2 where when all the people die, they make a Tim Allen sound.
See, now, this right here is absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love seeing companies embrace their fans and what their fans can do with certain things. 1 second.
That's kind of how always like Sega has been though. Like it's just such a shame that their consoles died.
Yeah.
They were always kind of designing things for people with people in mind.
Oh
Yeah.
God, what
It's it
the
just
heck is this? Big's Fishing
my
Derby?
God.
yeah,
I'm just
buddy.
so happy about this because it's one of those things like they've gotten kind of a bad rep with some of
what the
our
heck
modern
is
games, and this is gonna be so
Oh,
good.
maybe I should not show the gameplay on here because I'll get sued. So
Just like show a second or two. You don't have to. You won't get sued if you do that.
it's not really showing much. It has music.
It's just I think the opening.
I don't know.
Music.
Already we're intrigued.
Yeah, but like there's obviously a lot of things. Like I mean, look at this Metal Sonic Hyperdrive. A game in which you're playing as Metal Sonic.
That's really cool. See, it's something like this that's really like I think a lot more game companies really need to embrace. It's that so when Doom was originally released as shareware, it was that was kind of a really neat kind of concept, giving some of your game out for free and letting everyone experiencing it, and then if they wanted to continue to buy, play it, then they can buy it. But after a while, they actually released the actual engine and all of the information on how to use the engine to the public. And still to this day, almost 23 years later, the Doom mod community is still huge. They're still pumping out new WADs,
Brutal
new level
Doom.
packs, new conversion packs to these games, and they're making new and fantastic games that are it's incredible that they can do this and stuff, and it's all because of like the original people from id Software. Like, they wanted their fans to do this, to keep their games in infamy, and to allow more people to experience them and play around with them and stuff. And it just goes to show that like games like any of the Sega Genesis games and stuff, they're encouraging people, hey, here's the original game, now take it and make it your new experience and share it to everybody.
Yeah. Like this one right here seems really cool. Phantasy Star 2 Improved, where it basically says that they fixed every bug that they couldn't find. They basically they changed a lot of typos and grammatical errors, and basically made Phantasy Star 2 a better experience. So, you know, it's the game that they want to remember rather than like the actual game that they remember.
Yeah.
That's
fantastic.
Great. Ooh, Shinobi 3.
What the heck is this?
What?
So Mari. So it's basically Sonic, but you play as Mario.
Yep.
What the heck? Anyways,
Yes.
You know, I'm pretty sure we made our point at this point. That this is really awesome. That
Yeah.
you know, Sega opened up and was like, you know, hey, use the Steam Workshop, put up your ROM hacks, and you know, share with the world your creations, whether it's, you know, fixing the games that never got fixed, or just make your own stupid creation that's just fun.
Yeah.
But let's move
Bravo,
on.
Sega, bravo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job, Sega. GG.
You know, this is like a really weird situation where we're, you know, yelling at Nintendo and we're saying bravo to Sega. It's like,
Right? Maybe Sega's making a comeback. I'd be so happy.
what
Sega
happened to the
can
world?
And don't.
Exactly.
Like, it's one of those things. I was standing in a line recently, and I was talking about the fact that, like, Sega's, like, my widowed love. Like, I loved Sega, and then it died, and then I married Microsoft when I was younger. I was like, oh, Xbox is great, like, and we had a good relationship, and then I started seeing PS4 on the side. Just don't tell.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do to keep happy.
So here's not quite a news article, but a post on NeoGAF, basically pointing out that looks like Bethesda is working on their own game launcher, similar to like Origin, Steam, Uplay, Battle.net, etc. I'd say this is going to probably be more comparable to Uplay, in which you can buy the game on Steam, but it's going to have some annoying launcher that just makes things annoying.
Yeah, most likely.
And I don't really like this. I don't like the fact that they're working on this, because when you have launchers within launchers, it just becomes more of an annoyance than anything else.
Yeah.
And like I don't.
Uplay is not fun. Like, I don't like Uplay. It's annoying, and the reward system is not that great. And if this is going to be anything like that, it's just going to be a pain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't see them becoming very successful with this, because there's already, you know, a lot of competition as far as the PC digital sales space. You know, Steam pretty much has a stronghold on it. GOG or GOG and Origin are kind of fighting over second place, I suppose. And well, I guess Battle.net is just doing its own thing as well. It's not trying to compete, because they're not putting, you know, third-party software on there, and they're not putting their own software on the other stores either.
Yeah.
So they're just doing their own thing. But I don't know. I'm not really too happy with this. I mean, like I always say that competition's good, but like this is just, why are you trying? You're just making the digital space more cluttered, and it's going to be more of a hassle for the user.
Yeah, you're already Bethesda. You don't really need to have razzmatazz. Like, you're good.
I love this comment right here. I hope it works as good as their games.
So much shade, Hector.
Burn. Well, yeah, that's it for that. You guys have anything else to say about this article or this news?
Just Bethesda don't do it.
Yeah, Bethesda don't do it. So, in the previous podcast, I mentioned that it looked like Daisy Ridley would be playing as Lara Croft, and it is now confirmed that it's not her. It's going to be Alicia Vikander. I think I said that close enough. She was, I guess, the main character of Ex Machina, which is a movie I have not watched, so I would not know, but I'm assuming she was the main, the star of that movie. And yeah, so I don't know anything about her. I cannot say whether, I think she'd be a good Lara Croft or not. Do you guys know anything about her?
I have not seen her before, so I cannot.
Ex Machina was definitely a movie that's on my watch list. I just haven't gotten around to doing it yet. But I've heard a lot of good stuff about like her performance in it. It's definitely not a your particular Lara Croft adventurer action role that she's
Hold
playing.
on one
Ex
second,
Machina.
sorry.
But I don't think it would be necessarily a bad decision. It just we'll have to see some shots of her within in costume, and then possibly some
Anybody can look like Lara Croft. They just put on a brown or a green T-shirt, some khaki shorts, and then strap some guns to their
Apparently,
legs, and boom,
There's
that's it.
a tornado that's near my area, so
A tornado?
I'm gonna end up having to go.
Live on Ada Continues, we have tornadoes wrecking the place.
I know, right? It became storm chasers, but yeah, sorry.
Bam.
I'm hearing sirens out pretty far from my place, but yeah.
So
Here in sunny Los Angeles.
Yeah, you know what?
nothing. You've managed, but yeah, I'm so sorry.
It's alright.
We'll talk to you guys soon. It was awesome being on here. I feel super bad that I have to leave early.
It's cool. Just
problem.
send me your audio, and we'll go from there.
All right, I will do that. Thank you all.
Hold on, before you leave, just playing, right?
Yep. Twitch.tv/justplaying. Maybe I'll try and stream from my basement.
All right.
All right.
See you later.
Bye.
So, anyways, yeah. So, I mean, like, I have not seen her. I mean, I've heard good things about this movie. I want to check it out too. But I mean, I imagine it's not hard for her to look like Lara Croft. But I'm more concerned about like the acting.
Yeah. I will make sure to give this a watch for certain. The Ex Machina movie, and keep an eye out on it. But outside of that, as long as the part can be, because I mean, Lara Croft, even within the new games, has kind of gone through like a whole new kind of a rehash or reimagining that's actually well done. And so if they do a reimagining with the character in cinematic terms, then I don't see why it would be bad.
Trying to find I guess this is a decent enough picture. So anyways, that's her. I mean,
okay, yeah, I can see it definitely.
Sure. I mean, I just want a more human picture than this one, where it's like,
yeah,
yeah, that's what she looks like. Sure, that's fine. But yeah, move on. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, moving on.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about another movie real quick. Shinobi.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so basically, one thing that this article reminded me of, that I don't know whether I either I overlooked this original article that Sega announced a Sonic movie, or my brain wanted to protect me, so it wiped that memory. Which, God help us when a Sonic movie comes out.
I don't know how, like, the Sonic team still has money to do, because, like, there hasn't been a good Sonic game since...
Apparently, the Sonic Boom cartoon is popular with kids.
Oh, I see. I imagine so.
But, yeah, so they're now announcing that they're in the works to make a Shinobi movie, and it's coming from the person who, what's his name? Mark Platt, who produced Drive, Wanted, and the Oscar-nominated Bridge of Spies, as well as Legally Blonde, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and Into the Woods. I think the only one out of those I watched was Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, some of those are some of those titles are really good, and I have always been a long Shinobi fan. Playing even the first one back on the arcades to the third Shinobi game. That one is probably one of my favorite games of all time. So I can see how they can do like a pretty cool like a movie adaptation. That would be really neat. I remember the PlayStation 2 came out with a Shinobi game that was kind of a mixed bag with me, but
I thought it was cool until it got like impossibly hard.
Yeah, it got really bad, especially during boss battles, since you always had to keep your sword charged up and there was no like enemies to charge your sword up, so you're always kind of constantly in dire straits. But
yeah, not
a bad game.
Yeah, I thought it was a cool game until Ninja Gaiden came out, and then I was like, this game sucks.
Yeah, Ninja Gaiden definitely ruled the 3D ninja-based lore games.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think this is something we might look forward to, since, you know, it's being produced by somebody who has made some good movies.
Awesome.
So kind of, you know, we're going to stray away from video games for one topic, one news topic. You know, we do that on the show sometimes. I want to talk about Mr. Punisher, Mr. Frank Castle.
Nice.
On Netflix, played by John Bernthal, who showed up on season 2 of Daredevil. He is now getting his own series, The Punisher, on Netflix.
Nice.
It is now confirmed. And I'm very hyped for this. I loved Daredevil season 2. I loved Daredevil season 1 as well, but season 2 was great. Bernthal was an amazing performance. Though I don't think he was the best character on the season. I think the best character season 2 was Elektra.
Okay.
She was pretty cool. Like, she had a very interesting character, and the actress did a great performance on her. Did you watch Daredevil season 2?
I have not seen any of the Daredevil series. I keep hearing a lot of really good things about it. I just haven't gotten around to actually watching it.
Cody, I need you to do something really quick.
What do I need to do?
Slap yourself.
You know, I've heard that a couple times too. But no, I've been keeping up with it. I've heard a lot of really good stuff, and you know, since the last time I really got a taste of Daredevil was like kind of the very mediocre Daredevil movie that came out a handful of years ago.
Like 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while, but like everyone's saying that this is like the go-to show to go to on Netflix, and it's just, you know, balancing school and video games and stuff like that. It's been a hard time getting to it, but I think during this summer when I've got some time, I'm definitely gonna give Daredevil a look, because
Daredevil has been on point.
Yeah. I've always thought Daredevil was a really neat character, and in The Punisher, like the first Punisher movie, I can't remember the guy's name, but he's been in a couple things.
Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah, But
Are you talking about the '80s Punisher movie?
no, I'm talking about
The one that came out like in like 2002 or something like that.
it was around there. It had
Thomas Jane.
Yeah, Thomas Jane, because he was also in the Stephen King's The Mist, which was really good. But that was like one of my if I remember like superhero / comic book movies, because I don't know, I don't think you can really consider the Punisher a superhero per se. But if you go back to like comic book movies, that was one of my favorites. I was blown away by how just like gritty and awesome that movie was. And I always wanted to see like a really good like Punisher based series. And then from what everyone's saying, John brings a really good performance to this Punisher, and to the Frank Castle. So I'll definitely be looking forward to all of these coming up here in the near future. So
like everything Marvel's been doing on Netflix so far, like Daredevil season 1, Daredevil season 2, Jessica Jones. Like, they've been all great. I definitely recommend Jessica Jones as well.
Nice.
Who is like a very what's the word I'm looking for? Like she's a very unknown character. Like very few people know of her. Like she's actually a very new character as far as comics go. She's only been around for like 15 years.
Okay.
So that's why very few people know of her. But like season 1 was excellent.
Nice.
And they're gonna have Luke Cage coming up this fall, and that's gonna be awesome. But since you mentioned like the gritty comic book movie, I just want to mention Dredd real quick.
Dredd.
Yeah, Dredd. Dredd 3D. There we go, Dredd. Starring Carl Urban. You should check that out.
Dredd 3. Oh, okay. Yeah. I saw this one.
You saw that?
I actually saw this one, yeah.
That was
they get
awesome.
locked in that like really tall like kind of building or whatever not.
Yes.
Yeah, that one was actually I wouldn't say like because the plot was just kind of like whatever, and then the acting was here and there, but like as far as just an adrenaline rush, awesome, like just kind of like fun movie to watch. Dredd was definitely.
And they got the Lena Headey as the bad guy of that movie.
Yep.
Yeah, and Carl Urban. I love the fact that at no point Carl Urban took off that helmet. Like he had the helmet on the entire time and had a big frown on his face.
Yeah, because I had remembered reading like just a few of the actual Judge Dredd comic books and stuff. And, the only thing that we ever saw from Dredd prior to the Dredd movie was that the movie with Sylvester Stallone. And that one was just kind of like, it really didn't like...
It was stupid.
Yeah, it was kind of just stupid. It was, of course, like very early 90s movie.
It had Rob Schneider.
Yeah, it did. But no, I like that one because it really drove back into the roots of like, just how the judges would handle certain situations, and the performance from him was, it was nothing like Academy Award winning, but it was definitely good for.
It was a fun blockbuster movie.
Yeah, it was fun. It was just it was a fun movie to watch.
Yeah. Like just one thing real quick about Dredd, Carl Urban recently has been trying to get people talking about it on Twitter because he wants to get like either a Dredd 2 or a Dredd series on Netflix or Amazon Prime.
That would be pretty cool. If they get that backing, I could see that being a really cool little mini series that's on Netflix, or even just I would probably steer away from the movie because I think the original that first movie Dredd didn't do too well in the box office, and it just kind of it was lackluster by standpoints. I
think it was mainly because people assumed it was a sequel to the Judge Dredd movie from the 90s, and they're like, oh, that crappy Stallone movie, I'm not gonna watch this.
But I think if they put it up on Netflix, they're going to hit that target niche market, and then they're going to pull in a lot more other people. And yeah, it'll probably have a better place on Netflix as a series.
All right. So, anyways, let me stop screen sharing. Hello, I'm back. So, that's it as far as news. And as I mentioned before, I got a surprise.
Uh-oh.
And so let me get that loaded up real quick. Do that. And swap. All right, got that there. And get this back on here. All right, we'll go screen share one more time. All right, so we're going to do a little role playing.
Uh-oh.
All right. So we're gonna role play that you are a voice actor.
All right.
And you're gonna be auditioning.
Okay.
So basically, I'm gonna show you a character, and you have to like give your best audition to voice this character.
Okay. Is there lines with that character, or do I have
No.
to make those up?
No, there are no lines.
Okay.
You come up with the lines yourself. You know, just make sure there's just keep it clean.
I will.
And if you want, I'll also do it after you as well, since Jess left.
No problem.
So anyways, this first character, let's this is your description for the character, and I'll show an image afterwards. It's a skinless boy who wants to save his girlfriend. All right, you got your personality that you're thinking of for this character.
Skinless boy wants to save his girlfriend.
Here's an image to help you out. For the listeners out there, it's Super Meat Boy. So let's hear your audition.
All right. Listen, Frank. All right? Just because I can't grow hair doesn't mean that I don't love Susie.
All
I'm
right.
going to save her, all right?
Sounds good. You want me to go as well?
If you want, man. Where's all my skin?
It burns.
Oh, God.
All right. So the next one. This is a heroic sword-wielding young elf in a fantasy setting. And here's the image. For the listeners out there, it is Link.
All right. How was that?
I would not hire you. All right, I'll go. Oi, I will bleed to save me love. With me sword in my left hand and me shield in my right. All right, moving on. This is a teenage girl who will travel the land to capture wild monsters and use them for basically cockfights.
Okay.
And here's an image of what's his name, Hilda from Pokemon White and Black or something like that.
Okay, I get it. I see. Let me think. Teenage girl, Twilight, stickers. All right. What do you mean he won't move? You mean I have to have a flute? This is so last gen.
Okay. All right. Hey, everybody, let's go on an adventure and capture all these cute little animals, not the ugly ones. All right, so this is an MIT grad who is the right man in the wrong place to make all the difference in the world. So you got the personality in mind.
Yes.
All right, let me show a picture. It is Mr. Gordon Freeman.
How do you voice a silent protagonist?
All these people are silent protagonists. Have you not figured that yet? Every single character I've shown has been silent. You gotta use your that's why you're role playing. You're role playing as a voice actor. You gotta use your voice acting skills.
I get it. I see. Damn it, Jim! I'm an engineer, not a soldier, not a physics engine, not a damn cleanup operation. And no, I did not break the microwave.
Well, I say, do you have some tea and crumpets? My American degree does not suit me here. I traveled the seas to come to MIT and get the finest education in the world. Hip hip cheerio. Yes, he's British. Because he's
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's House. He's gonna be played by House. So there you go. All right. This is a female test subject who has escaped the lab with the aid of advanced technology. So you got that in mind?
Yep.
All right. Here's the picture. Chell from Portal.
Oh, okay. Let's see. You know, sometimes when I'm thinking about clearing the second test chamber, all I really want to cuddle up with is my faithful companion cube. You're my love.
All right. Why, hello there. I shall escape this prison and show the world my superior intellect. All right, so this is how many more do I got left? Let me check real quick. This is slide 7 out of 10. All right, so we got a few more left. This is an adventurous anthropomorphic animal that's dressed like John Cena.
So, John Cena?
No, it's Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, well, if I'm going to get into this habit, I got to think wild, crazy, and so dead inside. Hi, guys, I'm Crash. And if I could take a minute of your time, I just wanted to let you know about something that truly hits home. And that's wooden crate awareness. Yes. Wooden crates are the #1 victim of misplaced usage, of they're used as stepping stones, and they're stuffed full of delicious mangoes. I really need mangoes. Give me mangoes. Ah!
Yeah, there you go. You got a little bit of wild in there. All right. I do agree with the wild, so I'll go with mangoes. Did I get the job?
I think so. I'd hire you.
All right, so this is a circle woman with a bow on her head, and she also eats pellets. And I'm talking about this lovely lady, Miss Pac-Man.
Oh, Myra, you should have seen him the other day, just gobbling it all up. I keep telling him that if he's just going to keep eating like that all the time, that his heart's just going to bust out on him, but he doesn't listen to me.
Oh man, she's tough. I'm trying to think. Okay. Yahoo!
You indeed.
I get the job.
You're fired. Hashtag hire Staffa.
All right. This next one's a Marine who goes to Mars to fight demons from hell. Now I'm talking about the Doom guy.
Damn it, all I wanted to be is a Broadway actor.
Yeah. There we go. All right. Hey, girl. Check out these abs. Oh, you can't see them? Let me, just wear some armor where my abs are exposed anyways. Yeah. Feel it. Yeah. All right. I think this is the last one. Yeah, there we go. Space bounty hunter that you won't know if it's a man or a woman until you beat the game. Talk about Metroid over here. Samus.
All right. Man, those yoga classes sure did pay off.
Sure. All right. I am a robot. Call me the Master Chief. Okay. So there we go. That's it. That is our best voice acting abilities.
Hashtag fire Staffa.
Oh, no, that's the wrong hashtag, buddy. Change the F to an H. So,
Staffa.
So anyways, we have no listener feedback this week, but if you want to write into the podcast, you can write in at podcast@avcontinues.com. Also, some quick shout-outs and plugs. Check out the Twitch stream. I've been playing some Dark Souls lately, the Darkest of Souls. You can see me scream like a little girl as I die and get chased by the Black Knight. And that's twitch.tv/SayItStaffa. Also, I do the Out of Capes podcast where I talk about The Flash, and I've been giving it bad review scores lately. Eric hasn't been recording with me lately, so that's why I haven't been able to get the last episode up. But I'm trying. It's up to him, though. And do you have anything you want to plug real quick, Cody?
Right now, not necessarily. I do wanted to mention that I will be working with a couple of local filmmakers in Indy. All the way over here in the great state, Hoosier State here. We're working on a handful of horror titles that we're looking to showcase at some local horror conventions around the Indiana area, as well as like Chicago, Ohio, and Michigan. So once we get some more information on that, I would love to come back on and let you guys know.
All right. Sounds good. And anything else? Okay, if you enjoy what you've been hearing, you can like us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter. You can leave an iTunes review. Leave a Google Music Play review. You can also contact us by email. That's podcast@avcontinues.com. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/avcontinues. All those things I mentioned, they can be found on the website. That's www.avcontinues.com. You can also give me a tweet. I am at SayItStaffa. That's at SayItStaffa. I'd like to thank my guest host for joining me. I want to thank Jess, who had to leave early. Check her out, twitch.tv/JessPlayin. And Cody, oh yeah, you got Twitter?
No.
You don't use it, do you?
really.
All right. Thanks for joining me, Cody.
At Twitter. I don't really Twitter that much. I'm on
Alright.
Facebook, so if you want to hit me there, I'll give you a like or one of those emotional things.
You'll add everybody as a friend.
No. I'll look at you and I'll judge your profile very harshly. Probably make a couple inside jokes and then push the ignore button.
All right. Well, thanks for joining me, Cody. And with that said, I'm your host, Stafa. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you guys next week. Episode 234. Hashtag hire Stafa.